Excuse me. Is that so funny? Left. Left. Yeah, left. Your head. Go. You should be a great boy. Get back here! Nico, get back here! Ow! Nico was born on June 15th, 2023, and we expected him to have a similar birth story to his sister's. Healthy birth, no surprises. And as soon as he was born, the doctor said, "Is anyone in your family blonde?" And we thought maybe light blonde hair, light brown hair. And then we saw him and we're like, oh, blonde. And I didn't know what albinism was, but within minutes of him being born, they looked at his eyes with a little flashlight and said, "Your baby has albinism." Like, what is this? And to me it was like the end of the world. And he didn't know what it meant besides light skin. Everyone was happy celebrating our baby and I was just distraught. I don't know. I was confused and overwhelmed. ¿Qué dice el pato? Quack, quack. ¿El elefante? Yeah. Good job.
I mean, I saw my kid being born, right? And he was white. And when they said he had albinism, it wasn't too bad for me.
He was like, I can't get enough. Yeah.
What?
Mila's not that much older, but she feels so much bigger because she's running around.
It was different, but I thought, well, we can just handle this. Not too much sun, but other than that, bring it on.
As a family, we like to spend a lot of time outside, so my mind I just went spiraling. I'm not just worried about the sun touching his skin. I think I'm becoming more comfortable with, his skin being a little exposed, having sunscreen and being out in the morning in the daylight. But I'm worried about his eyes. Is he comfortable outside? Am I torturing him when he's outside, even with the sunglasses and the hat? But I'm trying to let him take the lead, and if he's fussy, then we'll leave. But so far, he's been able to enjoy the outdoors a lot more than I thought we'd be able to. So it's been a good summer. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think we were very, very, very lucky because your OB-GYN, she came and she's the one that said there's these other reasons why he might have albinism. They said, we don't believe he has any of this, but there's other types of conditions that show themselves through albinism. And that's when they said HPSs, right?
Mm-hmm. They said we're going to monitor his bleeding throughout his hospital stay. They did the foot pricks, and then his blood
didn't come out.
Yeah. And then finally they got what they needed, and then it clot quickly. There were no concerns around that.
Umbilical cord, circumcision, everything healed properly, no bleeding.
They said there's no concerns with his blood clotting, so he probably does not have HPS. So
but where we were lucky is that her OBGYN said, I still want him to be tested. I still want him to get the DNA test. And we scheduled it, or she scheduled it right away. I think we were still there.
We scheduled it while we were at the hospital, and then we had an appointment with the geneticist a month later, and then when he was 2 months old, we got the results back.
Stop. Nah, go in.
Hi, Nico!
He's trapped.
We were anticipating receiving Nico's test results like any day, and then one night it was 9 p.m. Nico had already gone to bed. We were sitting on the sofa, and I remember it just being kind of dark in here, and just found it. I started reading it. I'm looking for the OCA1 because that's what the doctor said that Nico probably had, and I didn't find it anywhere. And at the top, it said Hermansky-Pudlak Syndrome. Un libro? Go get a book.
Yeah.
That night, it was like the end of my life. Like, we started feeling lonely, empty, helpless. That night was like the worst night of the whole thing. Like, that night probably is the night that I actually felt something bad. Like, our life is ruined. His life is ruined.
We felt so guilty for bringing a baby into the world, thinking he's not going to live a quality life. He's going to be in pain, suffering. We're going to spend his life going to doctors. He might not live to be as old as we are. It's scary. Everything that you read about HPS, in the genetic testing results, it's not good. It's just the facts and everything. And I'm happy that we have it, but in that moment, it was really hard. It was really hard.
2 months from the day he was born to the day we read the diagnosis. Yeah, I can handle this, right? I can help my kid. I'll figure it out. And when we get the HPS that night, I just went free fall.
Just like feelings of emptiness, loneliness. We had built relationships with people in the albinism community, and I suddenly felt like we didn't have as much in common as we thought we did, and I didn't know who to lean on, who we could relate to. How would we get past today? I just felt like we'd be stuck in that moment forever.
We both got into therapy, counseling. I think we were just trying to figure things out, and one day we brought all the neighbors that we were close to here, and we told them, look, we are not in a good place. We are struggling really, really, really bad. So we might need your support in one way or another. It's really hard to explain the feelings, but yeah, it was a feeling of emptiness and loneliness. Even though you had all these people around you, it's like you don't understand the feeling of bringing somebody to this world and failing to that kid because you didn't do all you could to prevent. You can't prevent it, but I was devastated. I think I went upstairs and cried. I couldn't sleep for a few days. Then I called my parents on Friday, and when they picked up, I couldn't even talk. I just started crying and crying and crying and crying and crying. Until I was able to articulate with my parents, and I told my mom, I need you here, and she came and stayed with us. But it was a really tough time.
So we love our sweet Nico dearly, but sleeping has not been his strength. Yeah, it's been really rough. So over the course of his life, I'm like, Nico, we need to sleep train. We cannot keep this up. And then we tried, and then it worked for a little bit, and I'm like, we need to try again. And then I would catch Miguel rocking in the rocking chair, holding Nico, and I'm like glaring at him, like, come on, you need to put him down. He's never gonna learn to sleep. We're never gonna sleep.
It is hard when the kid doesn't sleep, right? It is hard because then you are awake, you have to go to work, you're tired. But I just wanted to enjoy my kid because I didn't know how long I was gonna have him for.
After we received the HPS diagnosis, we learned of the HPS network. So I think I called, I left voicemails, and then somebody finally responded and gave us access to that town hall meeting. The executive director of the HPS network, Donna, she said, oh, we have a new family. And she welcomed us and said, I'm so sorry we have to welcome you to the network, but this is your family now. look at everyone. We're here for you, and we'll be here forever to support you.
I haven't seen you. I know you've got places to be.
Life right now it has its ups and downs. I think
You silly boy. Don't bite me. Don't you dare bite me.
many days I wake up fearful for him for no specific reason. It's either because it's too sunny or because I'm afraid of him having an accident or the uncertainty. But every time we meet a new parent that has older kids and we see that the parents are happy, I think that helps me the most. Just knowing that we're not alone. We're not the only ones. And also seeing other people with HPS that are older and successful and happy and thriving. I think that calms my demons down.
Hello. Hello.
There are days where, it's not the best day for us either. But most days now are great. We see him as a healthy, chubby kid that runs and climbs and screams and does everything that like a regular kid will do without an HPS diagnosis.
Nico is super energetic. Everything I thought he couldn't do or that he would do delayed, he's doing. He's proven us wrong in every way.
It not only proven us wrong, but he's meeting all the milestones.
He's on target. We have early intervention in place, and when they come to evaluate him, they're also surprised. Every time they come and say, what is he doing now? And they're always super impressed with what he's doing. And we are too. We're super pleased, and I think it's given us some optimism for the future. Nico has made us slow down and really appreciate what we have in front of us. That's always been hard for me because I'm always like thinking ahead of the next plan, the next vacation or whatever, and now it's forced me to be like, this is what I have now. We don't know what life brings. We don't know what health complications Nico will have, what we'll have in our own health journey. But it's made us really focus on enjoying everyday moments, the messy dinners, as hard as it is. It's fun. Just enjoying our baby. And I remember when he was first born, families would say, just enjoy your baby, because he's doing what babies should be doing. And that was really hard for me at first, because all I could see was HPS, and I was just so worried. But it took me a few months, and it's true. Like, he's just a baby. All he needed to do was eat and sleep and be loved and nurtured.
And when we focus too much on HPS and what we believe he will need, you stop focusing on loving your kid. And I think we learned that that's a priority. And kind of come back to present. This is what we do have, and stop focusing on what we don't even have faced yet.
Yeah, on the unknown.
Here. Just like take the blade of grass.
I am glad that we learned of his HPS early on, because then we were able to, see the specialists that we need to get an idea and a baseline of what Nico's issues are now, just to get an understanding of what to expect. He bruises so easily now with the bleeding disorder, so I think that would have just been a mystery to us, and now we understand, it's because he has Hermansky-Pudlak Syndrome. It's kind of like paved our medical journey, I guess. Like, we know
we know what needs to be done.
Yeah.
What direction we need to take to help him.
Nico is fearless, unstoppable. He just is a little explorer. Any tiny little thing, he'll sit there and try to figure it out. super curious. He's recently become a climber, so that's kind of terrifying. But it makes us so happy, concerned for his safety, but it makes us so happy to see him doing typical baby things that a boy his age would be doing. We call him the bulldozer. He takes anything down in his way. Anything. He's just like, what's this? And he'll just storm through like it's nothing. So he's our little bulldozer. Even his sister calls him Nico the bulldozer.
As a parent, you have these expectations about your kids. You want them to run, to walk, to meet their milestones, to be happy, to be healthy. He's gonna walk on time. He's gonna crawl on time. He's gonna be able to run and play around the house. He's gonna play with his sister, and I think he taught us that we just don't know. We just don't know what he's capable of. And every time we see him, he's doing something new. He's trying to climb the gate. He's opening the gates. He's closing the gates. He's turning lights on and off. He's just teaching us that we really have no idea what he's capable of. That I realized that my own expectations were wrong. There is something good coming for him.
Before Nico was born, I rarely used social media. I learned just that you can be supported through people on Instagram, and I've met people around the world that have become a huge part of our life. Like, this is our family now. There's no one else that we can relate to. Like, we can relate to our HPS and albinism community on social media. So it's just been a really special connection, and I found so much support in the early days from these families on social media, and I feel like we've been able to go through this together. I don't want anyone to feel alone. That's how we felt initially. Yeah, we're all in this together.
If your kid has albinism, try to get them tested for any underlying genetical condition that may be triggering the albinism. The second thing that I would suggest the parents do, contact the network and get in touch with a parent that has a kid and just talk, because that's the only group that will understand where you are emotionally. I can tell you that things will get better. Emotionally better, they will get more normal. The worry is always there, but you realize that you're not alone. And I think the way you do it is with contacting the network and getting in touch with the rest of the families that have gone through what you're going through. Because I wished I would have had somebody calling me saying, this is normal, but things are gonna get better. I don't think that you see that when you get the diagnosis. I believe that the rest of my life was gonna be dark and lonely and empty. And I wish somebody would have shown me the video jumping and running in the sand and doing other things. I really wish I would have had that. It shows me that he will be as capable and as human as anybody else.
And be able to enjoy his life, because I think that was our fear, is will he be able to enjoy his life doing the things that kids his age do? And now we know, yes, he can. But before we met other people through the network that had HPS, we didn't know. The first thing is that we want to ask everyone to subscribe to our social media on Instagram, the Daily Blancas, and the HPS Network, and our YouTube channel.
Also, share us in your social media, and don't forget to subscribe. The links will be somewhere.
And finally, we're asking you to donate. Every single dollar counts. We're fighting for our sons' lives, and now everyone that has HPS. We want to find a cure. Thanks for listening to our story. We clap. Yay!